Hello everybody, my name is Brady and I'm a 19th century American historian and we are back with another React video, and today we're going to be doing more Hamilton. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm really excited to do this. We have Schuyler defeated. There's going to be a wedge in the Hamilton-Burr relationship. They've been okay before this, and they'll be okay at times after this, but Hamilton's never going to really look at Burr the same way again. A lot of you have told me to check out the workshop version of this song. I've never heard of it. I don't know the workshop stuff. This is all kind of news to me that I've learned from the comments of these videos. So if you want me to check out the workshop song, I'll do it. I'll get around to it. I'm trying to do the main songs first, though. So just give it a little time. I'll get there. Now, let's do Schuyler defeated. It's pretty short, so we'll see how much I can take out of it.
Grandpa's in the paper. War hero Philip Schuyler loses Senate seat to young upstart Aaron Burr. Grandpa just lost his seat in the Senate.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
Daddy's gonna find out any minute.
I'm sure he already knows.
It's kind of interesting that she's kind of whatever about it. You could take that a couple ways, I'm sure. You could just say that's something in her personality. She was never really that into politics. It's always a burden at the time. You don't profit immensely off of being in political office. You'll get the esteem and you'll be all big and important or whatever, but a lot of people lose money in political office at this time. So financially, there isn't that benefit. Personally, it probably gets in the way of a lot of personal relationships because you're really busy. Public service is not easy. So I can understand why she would be like, whatever about it. She might think, hey, maybe this is even better for us. Just given the context of the time. That's not necessarily exclusive to Eliza. There are probably plenty of women who probably wish that their husbands would stay out of politics because it's just generally not good it's just a strain on their family. So maybe that's it.
Further down, let's meet the newest senator from New York, our senator.
Burr, since when are you a democratic-republican?
Since being one put me on the up and up again.
No one...
Ooh, this is interesting because it's playing with the timeline a little bit here. Burr will be considered a Democratic Republican. At this time, we predate the more formal Democratic Republican Party, but we are having a lot of the pieces fall into place here. I believe the following year, after Burr gets into office, they'll firmly establish the Democratic Republican Party, but there are elements of it that are around beforehand. It goes all the way back to the Anti-Federalists, just the group that opposed the adoption of the Constitution. A lot of them would go on to become Democratic Republicans, but before, like, 1792-ish, I believe, they just didn't have great organization. So calling Burr and Democratic Republican during this time is a little bit weird because they are not as firmly established. And for him to be like, since when are you a Democratic Republican? The best response would be, since they became a thing. They are like brand new. It's not like he did a big switch here. He wasn't the biggest Federalist or anything like that. He just didn't really have the option before. If we are talking about like the loosely defined Democratic Republican presence that existed before the party. So he's jumping on a party that is new because it wasn't there before. So for Hamilton to be all accusatory, I don't get it. He seems a little bit entitled to Burr agreeing with him, and maybe that is pretty good with Hamilton's personality. He did seem like he was entitled to have other people agree with him at times. That's kind of what you get with these like really opinionated types like him. So maybe that's perfect. That might just be perfect.
Since when are you a democratic-republican?
Since being one put me on the up and up again.
No one knows who you are or what you do.
They don't need to know me, they don't like you.
Excuse me?
Ooh, they don't like Hamilton. Okay, I don't know how the timeline works here, and I can't even trust that they're being strict with the timeline. The bank wouldn't be adopted until a little after this, so it's not that. we might be talking about the whiskey tax. A lot of people don't like Hamilton. Is that implemented yet? I think it's the same year. I don't know if like month-wise it came before or after Burr's election. I actually am going to take a look here. So I just checked. The whiskey tax came in a couple months before Aaron Burr got into office. So timeline-wise, that's probably one of the best examples of reasons why somebody wouldn't like Hamilton. Why ordinary people wouldn't like Hamilton. Because a lot of what Hamilton does goes against the spirit of what caused the American Revolution. But then they're like, oh wait, we need order and stuff. So the Federalists come in, people like Hamilton, and start creating order. But what they end up doing often seems to contradict a lot of the ideas of the American Revolution. So the whiskey tax looked a lot like something the British would do. This is like what they rebelled against. So naturally, we have the Whiskey Rebellion, which it's going to last for a while, and Washington and Hamilton are going to go and put that rebellion down. It wasn't a huge rebellion, and they were able to put it down without like crazy bloodshed or anything, but yeah, that's probably what he would be referring to if we're going strictly with like the real life timeline. With the musical, they could just say the bank. Nobody trusts bankers. Nobody trusts Wall Street. Nobody trusts financial speculators and stuff like that. It could be that as well.
Excuse me?
Wall Street thinks you're great. You'll always be adored by the things you create, but upstate, people think you're crooked. The scholarship was up for grabs, so I took it.
I've always considered you a friend.
I don't see why that has to
You
end.
changed parties to run against my father-in-law.
Like I said, he didn't really have a firmly established party. We are just getting the two-party system. It's not like he really had a choice prior. I guess he could have chose Federalist or Anti-Federalist, which weren't really parties early on. It was just on the side of like one big vote, and that was on the ratification of the Constitution. The Federalist Party just happened to emerge out of that. But the Anti-Federalist Party doesn't really exist for very long after the Constitution is ratified because they lost. Their purpose is destroyed. So then we'll end up having the Democratic-Republican Party come out. But Burr didn't have that option until like just now. So I don't know how Hamilton could, like, you have to be on my side. Oh, there's another side now? You how dare you pick the new option?
Changed parties to seize the opportunity I saw. I swear your pride will be the death of us all. Beware, it goeth before the fall.
Oh, okay. It's a sudden cutoff because that definitely flows very directly into the next song. So I'm excited to do the other cabinet battle. I'm sorry this one was so short, but I really wanted to give it its time. I think my defense for Burr was better than Burr's defense for Burr. This is why I question whether or not the entire musical is Burr's perspective. For a minute, I was like, oh, is the whole story being told exclusively like Burr's interpretation of events? But it's not very favorable to himself. He doesn't really give himself very good defenses, which is what makes me think it's like a mixed narrative rather than just from Aaron Burr's perspective. Which is fine, but I kind of liked the idea of it all being through his eyes. But this song kind of makes me think, I don't think Aaron Burr. I think he'd come up with a better excuse for himself, and he wouldn't really portray himself as so politically cynical. But I don't know. So, like I said, I'm sorry that this video was pretty darn short. Let me know which Hamilton song you want me to do next, though, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Become a channel member, damn it! Alright, I'll see you guys. Bye.